Right, let's get into the Ryder Cup. You've been like twitching, shaking about. Europe are on the verge of history at the Ryder Cup. They lead Team USA 11.5 to 4.5, the biggest margin ever going into Sunday singles. Europe now just need 3 more points to retain the trophy. For the Americans, it would take a miracle comeback. 10 points needed for them. Happy to say joining us now is English pro golfer and a man who played in the Ryder Cup in 2016. Good morning to Chris Wood. How are you?
Hi, Chris.
Good morning, both of you.
Yeah, Chris, can you believe what you're witnessing?
It's an amazing performance, isn't it? I think one of the key factors to this is how Europe have gone about it. Under the leadership of Luke, the preparation from this starts 18 months out, like the preparation that they put in, and obviously a lot has been talked about. The practice trip they did last week, it seems the polar opposite of how the Americans have gone about it. And their season ended 6 weeks ago, and so not a lot of their players have played much golf in the last five or 6 weeks. Whereas Team Europe, we have the BMW PGA a couple of weeks ago. They have a week off where they had the practice trip, 3 or 4 days to themselves, and then they're straight into the Ryder Cup. So it certainly looked like our players are a lot sharper.
Was you astounded? I mean, look, I love golf, Chris, and I've said this before. I love watching it. I think it's a great sport, the integrity of the game. But I was astounded by some of the pairings that were repeated. Go on, you tell us from your perspective.
Well, from the European side,
I mean, it's great if you win, but
yeah, like the matchups from the European side, like the morning foursomes yesterday were identical to the morning foursomes on Friday, because they were so successful. They started 3-1 on Friday morning. Why would you change it?
No.
The Americans, they've seemed like they've scrapped plan A and they've gone down plan B, plan C, and it's still not working. I think it speaks volumes of how the Americans' sort of top players have performed when they're sending a rookie out top in the singles this afternoon. Cameron Young leading them out. That's quite unusual. Scotty Scheffler's not won a game.
No.
And I felt before the week started, if Europe can keep him quiet over the week, then they're in a really good place. And he's played every game and he's not won a point.
Well, look, he's been with Russell Henley, obviously, a couple of times. And, Russell Henley's a great player. We know that. But they didn't seem like they feel a great match when they're together, because both of them don't have extraordinary length, do they?
No, I mean, they played President's Cup a couple of times, I think, together. And they've done okay, but not any better than that. And like we say so often, it just comes across a team of individuals, doesn't it? Like you look at the Europeans, you can see it in their faces, the passion, but I think that's it comes so easily to us as the European tour. It's such a different way of traveling than they do in the States. In Europe, we stay in players' hotels. Players meet for dinner in the evening, 4, 5, 6 of you go out for dinner. In America, when you turn up at an event, you get given a car and you go your separate ways. And it is very different. And I think that's just always been the culture on the European tour, and that will never change.
When you played in 2016 in America then, what was the atmosphere like compared to what it is now? Because, I mean, what do you make of the American fans? Some of them... Golden Rory McIlroy, the way they have been. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always that's sort of leaning that side of things in America. Like when I played in my singles, I played Dustin Johnson, and my wife got a little bit of abuse as we were walking around. And in the pairs, I played with Rosie, and I got a little bit, and he said to me, "Look, don't react. That's the worst thing you can do. Just don't react. I was playing over in America a little bit, and you've just got to take it." But sorry, go on.
So I was just going to say, I think it was Rory's wife. I think something was said to him yesterday, about his wife as
Yeah.
well. Do you think Rory was wrong to tell the crowd to shut the F up and to give them the finger the day before, or is he well in his rights to do that?
I think it's very hard to keep a lid on things when it's so relentless for Rory. He's their number one target, isn't he? And Erica's American, and I believe she had a drink thrown at her as well yesterday,
Oh,
which is
God.
obviously way past the line,
Yeah.
and no one deserves that. And they ended up having to have more security. Like Rory has the same security with him wherever he goes, every event he turns up at. But I believe the police were involved a little bit more yesterday. Obviously, that's way past what we want to see on a golf course. And for Rory to react, honestly, I think it adds fuel to the fire from a European perspective. They'll all go back to the team hotel, they'll be in the team room, have a meeting, and they'll be using that to get to 16, 17, 18 points today.
Yeah.
Honestly, it'll really fuel them.
Well, I would have added to that as well. The Whistling Straits defeat and being humiliated. There's no way on earth there's going to be any complacency from the European team today, because I think they'll want to do and ram it down their throats, the Americans, because of Whistling Straits and being humiliated, or felt like they were humiliated.
Absolutely, and they might even have. I'm sure they started the week with a number in mind of we want to get to this amount of points, and I would think Whistling Straits might be a target. Can we get past that? And again, even things like Justin Rose last night and Bryson, they had a little bit of a heated moment, and then it carries on up to the next tee. Francesco Molinari, who's a vice captain for Europe, sort of came in to almost protect Tommy, it looked like a little bit. Yeah. And then Scotty Scheffler's caddy gets involved and it all got carried away. But I think those sort of things, the losing team, when you're being hammered as much as the Americans are, the losing team can almost fall to that level. And again, honestly, the Europeans will just be using that as fuel to keep going.
Chris, there's one thing for sure. There's a lot of leaders in the European team. Whether it's Rose, whether it's Fleetwood, or whether it's McIlroy, whether it's Ram, the list is endless of how many players have stood up at the plate when needed.
And they've all played really well this week.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick, like Rosie, Hatton,
like Rosie and Tommy yesterday, I think had 19 birdies between them as bettable. 11 birdies yesterday and 8 the day before in bettable, 19 over 2 days. Like, that's hard to beat. Our best players have turned up, and theirs haven't.
Rosie, by the way, walking after that putt, I mean, ice cold, iconic. Just that moment, I think, summarises where
always
they're
at.
Yeah, but I mean, the confidence as well to do that in front of a crowd. I mean, you're still a good few feet away, and then sinks it, walking in after it. I mean, the scenes have been unbelievable. Can I just ask you very quickly about Keegan Bradley? Do you think he should have been player captain, or do you think he was right to just stick with the captaincy?
I played 9 holes practice at the British Masters a few weeks ago with Brandt Snedeker, who's a vice captain. And I was asking him, I was sort of chatting to him a little bit about it. And he was saying, yeah, he can do it. This is before they announced what he was doing. Yeah, he can do it. I was like, well, he can. And I think it was a bit of he was just trying to make sure everyone didn't know what they were doing. There's no way he can play and do it, I don't think. I think he was probably the wrong choice in the first place. When you look at the American side, where are their captains going? I'm not sure. Keegan Bradley should be in the team in his own right as a player. He's played absolutely fantastically for the last 2 or 3 years to get himself to a point where he just missed out on qualifying himself with all the captain stuff going around. It's an amazing achievement. So I thought when it was announced, it was an interesting choice. There was talk of Tiger not wanting it.
Should it have been Tiger?
I'd imagine Tiger will show up in Adair Manor in 2027 in Ireland. That would be my hunch. And I think, hard to see at the moment because he's playing so well. He might even be playing. He'll be 47 then, but potentially Justin Rose would be somebody who could lead Europe unless they think, no, we want another 2 years of Luke.
Do you think we'll have a bit of fun, Chris? You know, like in the 70s when Jack Nicklaus, spoke with Tony Jacklin, because it was the UK and Ireland at that particular time, then went to Europe to make it a bigger, fairer competition. Could it be a good suggestion to go to America and say, well, maybe you should have Canada in now and Central America and maybe Southern America? That'd really upset them. Put that proposal to the Americans if you keep getting whipped.
That would be a big dent to their pride, wouldn't it? I mean, they've got to do something slightly different, haven't they? I would like to think a heavy defeat, as we all hope will come tonight, will lead to a lot of questions and what they can do. But I mean, it's not going to be easy for them to come over to Ireland and try and win. That could possibly be one of the greatest Ryder Cups ever.
Looking forward to it already, Chris. We could sit and talk to you all day for the rest of the day about the Ryder Cup, but you go and enjoy it. How are you going to be taking it in today?
I'll be watching tonight. 4 kids, so get them to bed and then sit down in front of the telly.
Have a cold one on us, Chris Wood.
Cheers,
thank you so much for coming on Weekend Breakfast here on TalkSport.
On AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.